Hello, welcome to another Sewing for Sam Sunday. So man, this has been an intensely busy week for my work, Amy's Small World, this past week, and so I basically have not been able to do like much prep at all. And this looks like an intense pattern that I'm going to have, which we'll see. Hopefully I can get it done today. And plus this evening, we're playing some Jackbox games with friends. So yeah, today's going to be a busy day. I don't have a ton of time for sewing, but I did want to share with you guys some things. Oh, then I wanted to talk about some new things coming to my shop and all this stuff. Lots of crazy, exciting things going on, which is awesome. But let me show you what we're doing today. Okay, so I am going to try a new pattern designer. This is Brindle and Twig. This was a recommendation for me, and I am doing the essential overall. So I'm going to try to do them with the little footy things, and then they're going to have snaps here for diaper changes. So this looks intense, but we'll see. I read through the instructions really carefully before I even did anything, and the instructions look good. Plus, let me get this. I really enjoy how they just design their pattern. So you could see, here, I'll just take this piece of paper. So this part of the pattern, you could see there's like a quarter of a circle with numbers in here. And so all you have to do is like line the numbers up and make sure it's the circle, and so then you know that everything's going to line up. So this seems pretty well designed so far, and even though like this pattern does not seem beginner friendly to me, I am hoping that I'm hoping that the instructions are written really clearly when I actually get to put things together, and it could work well. So we'll see. But guys, I want to show you some prototypes before I get into cutting this thing out. So I have designed for my shop. These probably aren't going to be like the fabrics I have. I'm going to add because these are all princessy, and I kind of like for a launch to have a little bit more like diversity in case people aren't super into princesses. But these are a new size of bags that I wanted to add to my shop, and the whole purpose, or the whole thing I wanted to do, is I wanted to be able to make a small bag, like almost as small as I can make it, for different face masks. Here, let me show you them inside. Alright, so this is what the face mask looks like with it inside, and then the three different like designs, if you want to call it, is like this one basically has like no clips, it's just a really simple bag. This one has a Mickey keychain thing, which I think is really cute, but I really don't know how practical this is, because it's such a pain if you want to like hook it onto your key ring and things. And I don't know if this is something that people are going to want to have on their keychain constantly, because honestly I feel like if I was driving, this would drive me nuts because it would be banging against my leg. So but it is cute, so I like to give people options. And then this third one is just a really nice small little clip, so it can clip onto different things. Yeah. And actually, if I, like, another reason why I'm going to be so busy today is because I thought of another style of bag that I really want to try to prototype, because I think it would go along really well with these. So here, are you guys interested at all in like running a small business, or what it is like to like have your own Etsy shop or anything like that? Because I find it fascinating, but also it's like, because I also run my own little small business and stuff. I'm just going to tell you some things because I guess I don't talk about it too much. So one thing, so I have no business experience. I was a teacher beforehand. I have nothing. So I'm like completely self-taught in basically everything. And even sewing, I taught myself how to sew too, and do this. If I'm interested in something, I love to teach myself how to do things. And so one thing that I really like to do is I like to try to be as unique and different in what I create as possible, because I don't really want to like compete with other businesses or compete with other people, or I like never want to be someone be like, I had that idea first, you just took that idea from me. Like that would crush me, you know. Obviously face masks, like I'm not the first to do face masks or anything like this. So I guess in that way, but my customers just wanted them. So anyways, so I really what I try to do when I am trying to like think of something new to add into my shop, or just like, you know, just like kind of creative fun, like I love to this is just how my brain, like it's like playtime for my brain essentially, is I like to think what people are using specifically like on vacation, because vacation is where my brain likes to play anyway, you know, so it's already there. So it's like, okay, let's make playtime even more fun for my brain. I really like to try to figure out like what people are doing for vacation, and specifically Disney, because those are basically the only vacations I care about. Maybe, well, that's not true, Europe or Hawaii, but those are out of my price range. So what are people doing for Disney vacations, and is there anything I could make to make it easier or more practical or better? Because yeah, I like cute things, but inherently I'm a pretty practical person. I don't know if you could tell by the way that I like dress or conduct myself, is I am not a super I don't really go for like looks or aesthetics too much. I do like things cute, and I am super picky about fabric, but very rarely will I buy something just because it's cute. Usually it needs to have some sort of purpose, and then I'll buy it. And so I really like to do things that are practical. Like, but I do have to say, nothing that I make is like essential. You could obviously go on a Disney vacation without, or any vacation without these things. But I really like to try to be like, okay, maybe what are some challenges that people might be facing going on a Disney vacation, or what are some things that are really popular that people already are liking to do that maybe I could come alongside and make it better. So like my number one selling thing, I don't know if you could tell over here, but are like the bags that hold ears. Like, because ears are super popular, and a lot of people were like making these awesome ears, super like well-designed ears and things like that. And some of them were really intricate, and they were wearing them to the parks. So I came along like, okay, these are really popular. Let me make something to protect those ears, but also to kind of show them off with the see-through things. And then those did really well. So I try to come up, like, I try to really think about how people are going to Disney right now, and if I could add anything to make their vacations better, easier. So long story, really long. So that's where I thought of these bags. So as of right now, masks are required for if you're 2 years old or up at Disney parks right now. And I was mainly thinking about Disney World, people in Florida, because we went in like August, September a few years ago, and it was hot and it rained sometimes, and then it was kind of hard to wear a mask, and it was so humid. We described it as the air felt chunky, which is disgusting, but that's how it felt. The air felt chunky. And I was just thinking like, okay, like, yes, it's great that the parks are open and wearing masks. Yeah, of course I wear my mask all the time I don't really go out, but if I ever do, like to doctors or whatever, I wear a mask and stuff like that. And obviously it's important still, because those are the rules. So you gotta follow the Disney rules. And so I was just trying to be like, okay, people are going to have masks. So it's going to be a challenge. I don't think, it just is, you know, because obviously it's more comfortable to not wear a mask than to wear a mask. And so I was just like, okay, what can I do? Like, I'm making masks basically at cost, trying my hardest to make them affordable, because who wants to spend a lot of money on something that's not super comfortable anyways? So that's what I was trying to do, but it's like, okay, what else can I do? And so I was thinking about Florida, and it's like, Florida rains out of nowhere sometimes, and it can rain really hard. And please correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe from what the research I've been doing, if a mask gets wet, it is not very effective at protecting you, or protecting others, which I guess is more what the mask is for. And also, man, I cannot imagine breathing a wet mask in. Like, that just seems terrible. So I was thinking, it's like, okay, if I was to go on a vacation to Florida, I would definitely, like, for me and Eric, Sam, I get we wouldn't be going with Sam, obviously, or even now. But anyway, so theoretically, if we were going, I would definitely be bringing multiple masks and backup masks. So that's what I was thinking, because who knows, like, especially if we, like, theoretically, if still like 3-4 years down the line, if masks are still required, which I certainly hope not. Like, I could just imagine little Sammy, our baby, well, he would be older now, but whatever, like, losing masks, you know. So I for sure would want to bring extras with me, and then what if different things happen. And then also just the idea of, like, when you go out to, like, restaurants or anything, which you will at Disney, you take your mask off, duh, to eat, you know. But then I was thinking, well, where do you put the mask, you know? And then I was like, okay, well, so I knew masks were a requirement, and so I wanted to just make a little bag to try to go along to make this maybe a little bit easier. So when people are, like, at restaurants, the mom or the dad, whoever, can be like, okay, everybody give the mask. So then put it in here, so then they don't leave it on they don't forget it. No one is forgetting their mask. You could throw extra ones in there. You could get a couple of these, so you could have, like, clean mask, dirty mask, or, like, wet mask, because this is like a wet bag, like, it'll protect it. It'll protect all your other stuff if it's not. Definitely reusable. And then you could also wipe these down very easily with a disinfectant, like, inside and out. The inside is all vinyl. This has a little bit of fabric, obviously, to make it cute. There. So those are the new bags. And what I do, because I really, like, because, you know, sometimes I'm like, oh, this is such a good idea, everybody's gonna love it, this will make everybody vacation perfect. But it's like, obviously I'm thinking from my own perspective, you know. Like, I could imagine, I could guess how I watch a ton of vlogs, listen to a ton of podcasts, so I could kind of get an idea about how other people tour the parks. But I really want to know, and specifically, like, I want to know and ask and talk to my customers for these things, because that's who I'm trying to help, you know. Like, obviously I can make this for me, but I just did, it's done, you know. So I want to talk to them. So my little business tip, or what I learned that has really helped and transform my business, and I think has let me connect to my customers, because I really want my customers to, like, I want them to know how much I appreciate them and how much I value them, because I so do. I cannot be thankful enough for the people who support me. Like, it's actions speak louder than words, and when people support in action, that is crazy. That's crazy to me, and this job will forever humble me. Anyway, so what I do is I have an email list. I call them my happy cruisers, because this Amy's Small World is a small world, happiest cruise on earth, or in the world. Dang it, I don't remember that quote, but whatever. So I have an email list, and I'm so thankful. It's like, there's like well, I won't, that sounds braggy, I'm not going to say. But anyway, so I have an email list that's growing, and that's a decent size that I feel really comfortable with. So whenever I have a new product, I try to make a really quick little email or a quick survey just on Google Docs, and I send it out to the email so they could give their feedback, so I can know exactly what they want. And sometimes a lot of people will have really good ideas, and I really like their feedback, and I just love it. But sometimes I can't translate it like I can't translate their words or their ideas into action without drastically increasing the cost. So I feel so bad because sometimes like people have really, really good ideas. Like for example, actually a couple of people had the idea of adding like dividers in here, but I try to keep my prices really low. And so, and also the time that it won't take, like I try to keep things as low as possible. So to have a divider, to have like, what, Amy? Brain work. To have a divider would greatly increase the time it took and also the cost it took. So even though that's a great idea and I love it, it would just, I think it would probably be better for like, and it would help more people if they just got 2 instead. And then you could have different fabrics and stuff like that. So I send out email, and so I sent it out with a little survey with the 3 different options, so then I know what people will want, and I talk to them about the price point, and I try to give as much description as I can, and so that really, really helps. And then what I am doing is that I am just going to release these to my happy cruisers, like to my email club. Like I'm not going to announce or market this at all because I have been getting slammed and I just can't, mostly with mask things, and people are still asking me for masks, so I know that there still is people still want them. I think probably because I keep my prices so low for different things, and so I want to give these to people, but I know I'll get slammed and it'll probably take me a month, so I'm trying to keep my processing time low too. So I'm just going to release these to my email list, the Happy Cruisers Club. Anyway, that ended up being a lot longer than I expected. Hopefully you guys found it a little bit interesting about just how I do a little bit of my small business. I really, really, really try to make it focused on just helping the customers, but also getting some time for my brain to play because it's really fun. Okay, I'm going to get back to work. I said, oh, it's really busy. Let me just chat for like 15 minutes about like non-essential things, but I miss chatting with you guys. Okay, let's work. One thing to note about this pattern is that it does seem to like waste a lot of paper, and maybe if I was to like print out and do multiple sizes, I would understand this a little bit better. But they have a lot of pages like this, which is not like nothing. You know, there's nothing on here. There's no like little red lines to cut, and there's actually quite a few of these. I'm sure there is a reason for this, and I still am trusting it, but just to note this waste paper and ink. This is the fabric I'm using. Yes, it is Christmassy, but this is the stretchy fabric. This is just jersey. It's not cotton lycra, so it does have, I don't know if you could tell, it does have a little bit of a stretch, but not a ton. But this is Disney knit fabric that I like, that I was able to find. So, yes, so it's going to be Christmas in June, but whatever. He's an October baby. He will totally be wearing Christmassy things. So this is going to be like the main body of the fabric, and then I just have a plain red fabric. This is cotton lycra, so you could see like it stretches a lot more. So I'm going to do this for like the little bands, the necks, probably also the feet, because I want to make sure that the feet are easy to get in and out. So these are the 2 fabrics that I'm going to use, and so I'm going to cut them out. Ugh, guys, I made such a rookie mistake. Always sew right sides together. So it's like this, which is like a nice regular seam, not like this, where the nice seam is on the inside. So I'm going to be using my seam ripper. Ripping out serge things, not fun. So while I am correcting my mistakes, I thought I would give you a little bit of an update with what is going on. By the way, if you know of a faster way to use a seam ripper on serge seams, please let me know, because I will gladly accept any advice. Okay, so update. First of all, just because I figured this might be interesting info, at least to me, who knows, maybe it's boring. I am timing myself on how long it takes me to make this, not including cutting the actual pattern from the paper, but like starting from cutting the fabric. But I am pausing it because I just made this mistake. But I'm pausing it for this seam ripping, talking and chatting with you guys. But I am going to, but I did include the time where I had to read and figure out some of the things for the pattern instructions. I am starting to wonder if I am, maybe it's because I'm a beginner, but sometimes I feel like I'm a little bit dumb when it comes to sewing patterns. And maybe it's just because like I usually just design everything myself for like bags or different things. Like I'm very much a like figure it out by myself type of a person for the most part. But when I buy a pattern, it's like I want it very, very spelled out for me, because my brain does not work like how your brain is doing. So overall, so far I am not like I'm not frustrated. I'm frustrated at myself from being dumb, you know, for this, but I'm really not frustrated with this pattern at all. I think if this turns out well, and if I make it again, which I have high hopes so far, that it's going to come together very, very fast this second time, because it's a pretty simple pattern. You actually don't need that many pieces, which is pretty awesome, and they do have a lot of different options. But one thing that I think it's only one problem that I find with the pattern is that and once again we'll find out, maybe I'm doing it wrong, is I think that they are missing some things where it's instructions telling you to do it for like both sides, or to do it both like both parts. So for example, what I did correctly on this little part, this is the inseam, so his little legs will go here, and this is where I am going to eventually add snaps to. And so they only said to put it on this one side. They only had an example of one side of the fabric, or one side, so the back, not the front, or the front, not the back. And then they didn't tell you how many to cut when talking about this thing, this solid red part. So I only cut one. But as I was rereading the instructions, which I did include because I read the instructions a couple of times, I realized that it's like, oh, I think I needed to actually cut two of the solid red part that I just showed you. And I need to be able to put it on both, so the front side and the back side. And what made me think about this is because I got to the part where here, maybe you could see. So this is kind of where I'm at right now. So I just finished the part where you're sewing from the little wrist all the way down to the ankle, and then it starts talking about like this inseam part, you know, so this, which is the inseam here. And then I was like, what about this side that's open? And so it never says to do the same thing on this side, like ever. So it never says to, unless I'm really exhausted and I'm having pregnancy brain, which it could be, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't. It doesn't say to sew this side, you know, so, which is a similar, and so once I realized, I was like, yeah, I definitely need to sew this side so it's like covered, you know. So once I realized that, I was like, let me see about this problem, because when I was making it, it's like, it's kind of weird that there's only one side, because this is where the snaps are going to go, you know, so you could snap it to change the diapers. I was like, I wonder why they would only have it on one side. But based on the pictures, it looks like I will need it on both sides. And then I think my brain was just like trying to think through that, and I sewed with not right sides together, and this is why we're in this predicament. Anyway, so far I still have hope. Like these are different things where I feel like, once again, hoping, because we're in the middle of this together, doing this together, I'm hoping that it will be the type of thing where it's like I learned the hard way once, you know, and then I'm able to understand and fix it, or just know what to do for a future, because this is the type of pattern that I'm making that I'm definitely, if I like it, I'm going to be making a ton of these, because I have a feeling Sam will be wearing a lot of these different styles, like obviously different patterns. So I'm not saying like that I hate this pattern or whatever. I'm just saying that maybe people are just smarter than me. Anyway, I'm going to concentrate so I don't make more mistakes, but I give you an update. So far, pretty good, not perfect. Da 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 da. Wow, my voice cracked. I already went through puberty, I promise. But da 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 da, it's finished. So this is the 0 to 3 month size, and I love it. Guys, I love it so much. Look at these little feet. These little feet. And it has snaps. I'm so excited. Okay, let me turn you around. So first of all, don't want to get the light in there so it's annoying you. First of all, it took me about 2.5 hours, which I'm a very slow sewer, and I am a beginner. So I feel like 2.5 hours from cutting the fabric, not the pattern, cutting the fabric to the end is not bad, because I could, like, I know next time it'll be a lot faster. So that's awesome. I am so excited. I am thrilled with how it turns out. I think it looked really cute. And guys, the thing I was complaining about earlier about the pattern was 100% a me thing. I wish I could explain it succinctly, and I tried, but I can't. No, I can. So basically, what happened was that I cut out and I used the pattern piece for where the snap goes instead of the actual leg binding. And so that was my problem. And there was only, and apparently, anyway, that was my problem. And I didn't understand the cutting instructions. I 100% would recommend this pattern, even for beginners. It was very well written. Yeah, there were a couple of minor things that I had to figure out, but they were pretty obvious. It was really quick to come together, in my opinion, and I'm so happy, so extremely happy with the results. So there are like different versions that's included in this pattern that I bought, and I'm at least going to try one other version. Basically, the main options are like with footies or without footies. I am probably going to stick with footies because they're so cute, and from what I've read, socks fall off babies all the time, and so this will just be a way I don't even have to worry about socks because they're already covered. And the second thing is that instead of the snaps, which I have on the back, they almost, like basically there's almost like a butt flap that is an elastic. So right now the back is all one piece, but instead they essentially like cut it in half, and then the butt part has elastic, and then the front part is just, or the top part is just kind of like a shirt. So I might try that, and the reason is because even though I really like the little snaps, and I think last sewing Sunday I told you like I learned how to use it and stuff. I don't know if it's the brand of snaps I got or what, but they're actually kind of hard to unsnap and snap, especially when I am using like stretchy material a little bit. And so they're not like that hard, but they're hard enough where I'm like, you know what, I feel like in the middle of the night I'm gonna be like, I just need to get this thing off. This kid is crying and upset because he has a dirty diaper. So I might try the butt flap option. I don't know if it's called butt flap option, but that's what I think of. Yeah, so anyway, I could totally make like, I definitely have time to make like one or two, oh actually probably just one more, because we have plans to play Jackbox with some friends this evening. But I could definitely at least make one more, but I'm not going to, because I'm going to do some more prototyping for some new bags, and so I will show you those if I finish it. Guys, I'm so excited. I'm so excited about this. So I decided actually against, for the time being, prototyping a new bag, because this is, I call this my coin bag. I don't know if you could tell, but it's pretty tiny. Can actually work for the purpose that I wanted it, so let me show you. So this is, oh, I need to move the camera a bit. So this is the size that I'm going to, it won't even focus. Well, you guys could tell. This is the size that I'm going to offer, and it could probably fit like 6, maybe 8 masks in here, so it's really good for a family. And I originally was thinking, because some people had some ideas of like making a smaller one, because like I said, it's I don't know exactly where you would be able to hook this. I can't, where it wouldn't be that annoying, you know. And so I was going to make a smaller one, but then I already have this coin size that I offer, and so it could fit. So I would just fold up a mask, obviously, and then just kind of like stuff it in here. So this could totally work. I don't think 2 would fit really easily. So maybe one day I will make one like essentially in between these 2 sizes where it could fit 2, because I would really like one that's like a lot more compact. And obviously with masks, you could like fold them, you could stuff them, it's not going to hurt anything. But I would like one that could fit like 2, so you know, like, so the one you're wearing and the back of one, in case it get mixed up. But I don't think, because I do have this and it's a lot smaller, and it can already like, it could fit 1, definitely, maybe 2, but the second one, I don't know, it'll be a little bit crowded, and I think it would get, the elastic would get caught in the zipper. I don't think this is really necessary, and I don't, at least right now, unless people really want it, I kind of want to see how this size goes, because like I said, it could fit so many, and I think it might just be a little bit more practical for families and things like that. And so if people really like this, I might have like an in-between size between these, but I'll just like point people like to say, hey, if you just want 1 extra mask or something, you could just put it in here, because I don't want to just like make things that aren't super useful if I already have something. I am really excited about this. I think that it's going to I think it's going to be nice, honestly, to help make sure that people don't lose their mask if they're taking it on and off. And then you could see it has, I don't know if you can see, it has a ton of room. Yeah. So I think I'm just going to end it here, because what I'm going to do for the rest of the afternoon is just pick out what fabric I'm going to offer for my launch. So still sewing related, but I feel very content. I did start, I threw some different fabric in the wash for Sam, because I'm totally going to be making more of these different options for him. I'm so excited. Man, I love this kid so much, and he's here, but he's not here at the same time. Anyway, if you are new, I would love for you guys to subscribe and join me. There's going to be lots of parenting, learning things very soon. And yeah, so if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. I highly recommend the pattern Essential Coverall I believe it's brindle and twig. I'm not sure how to pronounce brindle or twig, something like that. Highly recommend that pattern. It was awesome. And if you like, oh, I just said that. Thank you guys so much for watching. You are greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a great day and week. Bye.